For your Tier 3 individual curriculum this month, I have for you a solution-focused individual curriculum. Now, why it's great to use a planned curriculum is because transformation takes place with structure rather than just having random conversations. You can then track data based on this, and you can make sure that it's, ASCA aligned and standards driven. I include those feelings check posters for you, so you can ask students how they're feeling and why at the start of the individual sessions. Again, I always encourage you to model this for students and leave these posters up so they can say their own emotion, or if they're having a hard time, they can point to one of the pictures. There's a counselor guide with your ASCA standards and objectives. I also have some supplemental resources for you there. And then each week has a session outline as well. So it tells you the specific mindsets for that week, the objective, and kind of what you'll do. So again, you're going to do your feelings check, an activity, your scaling sheet, and then a journal reflection. So the activities include goal-setting interactive worksheets, a miracle question drawing, a craft, a board game, and a dice game. So the interactive worksheet, so the whole point of solution-focused counseling here is that they can do it with any problem that they're having. So this is a great way to practice problem solving. So whereas like an anger management group, you're going to focus on anger every week, for this one it could be, they're picking one problem and then we're working through it. So they're going to talk about their goal, and then they're going to talk about if a miracle happened overnight and their goal was automatically met, what would be the first sign that it happened? Who would you tell? Things like that. These are the questions that we're asking through a solution-focused counseling. Then there's the miracle question drawing. So I talked about the miracle question a little bit, but it was saying if you woke up and your goal was met, what would be the first thing that you would do? Who would you tell? And so they can do a drawing there as well. Then there's a craft. So you'll need a few beads for this one, but they can make a little beaded jewelry craft. And then this is where they're going to identify who are people who have seen these changes take place in your life. So this could be like your parent or guardian, you would do a certain color, the administrator, your teacher, your counselor, your friend. So their bracelet will look different depending on which people have noticed this. And then how did it feel when you made these changes? And then a board game, so love a good board game. So on this one, there's two different types of cards, roadblock cards and goal cards. So they're saying, your parents noticed a change in you, move forward one space. Or what could keep you from meeting your goal? They have to write it in and then move back 2 spaces. So they can write those in as they play the game, or they can prep them ahead of time and then you can play the game. And then there is a dice game, so you're going to assemble and roll the die, and then they're going to answer the questions. Like how will you feel when you meet your goal? Who is someone who encourages you to meet your goal? And things like who or what has kept you from reaching your goal. And it includes 5 journals, so there's different journal prompts, about how do you feel about meeting your goal? Who do you think will be the first person to notice and why? Or what will you do the next time you encounter someone or something that could keep you from meeting your goal? So these are all about problem solving or working toward a goal. So there's a self-assessment. So they're going to do this at the beginning of the sessions and then at the end to see if they're meeting those objectives. Again, gather their name and date so you can compare the two. And then a scaling sheet. So this is kind of like a rating scale where they're going to kind of check in. And then they're going to see where they fall on the scale in terms of solving their problem or meeting their goal. So number 10 is like the miracle happened the best, and number 1 is it's the worst that it's ever been, and they're going to rank themselves there. It's always important to say that, we're never going to see consistent growth. It's just nice to kind of notice how each week changes. And I have those data tracking tools for parents and teachers as well. So we want to send out those behavior surveys to see how students are acting and making progress at both home and school. And of course, I love digital versions. So the self-assessment, that's for the students to complete. So if they complete it digitally, you go to the responses tab and you can have these beautiful charts and graphs that you can use. So that's a great way to measure their progress. Or you can send your behavior progress surveys to parents and teachers digitally, and I find that you're more likely to get them returned more quickly if you send them digitally. Just simply send them the link. Okay, I hope you guys love this individual curriculum.